Welcome back to CryptosRus. I'm George. We're all George. So welcome to another market open stream. Today, let's talk about Bitcoin, of course. 94.8% of Bitcoin has never, ever done this. Is this a good thing or not? Let's talk about it, and let's talk about everything else that's going on in the world today. All right, let's do this. Welcome, welcome, welcome. The market bell has just rung. And today we're off to a good start. Yesterday we were off to a bad start. Somehow it ended in the green. And I'm talking about the markets. Today we're looking at more green. Despite the fact we have a war going on, another war going on, you can't even tell because there's no articles on CNBC about it anymore. I guess CNBC is not the place to be covering the war, but still, at least something here, right? But no, today's looking like it's off to a good start. Oil jumped up like 4% yesterday. Today, it's holding. So let's see what's going to happen with oil prices going up, with inflation possibly going up, right? Are we going to print more money to help Israel? I don't know. I think so, probably. I think that's what's going to happen. So if you're looking at economic data, obviously what's coming out this week will not be affected. We have PPI inflation that's coming out tomorrow. We have FOMC meeting minutes from last month that's coming out. CPI inflation also coming out Thursday. So we got two inflation readings, jobless claims and consumer sentiment. So obviously these things will not be affected by what's happening in Israel right now. But I wonder if Powell is going to say something about it, though. He'll probably say it's a wait and see moment, but it's hard to ignore it when you have a war going on, and of course, oil is going to start spiking up. And oil, when it starts spiking up, everything starts spiking up, obviously, right? So we may have some more unfortunate inflation issues when it comes to our economy. So I guess prepare for that. In the meantime, we have a lot of earnings this week, okay? And Pepsi already reported, actually beat Wall Street estimates. So our economy kind of mixed, right? We get conflicting reports, but we're still seeing a lot of these major companies doing okay. Okay, even though a lot of, consumer buying and sentiment and real estate and new home builds, all these data that we got have softened, but it seems like consumers are still spending just fine. So we'll see how the rest of these companies report. Specifically the banks, I'm interested in hearing what the banks have to report. Are they still making money hand over fist, or are they going to report that they're starting to see lower profits? And BlackRock is also reporting too. Interesting. All right, so that's what's happening right now. But of course, this has been happening for quite a long time. Will the dollar collapse? Okay, that's a lot of economists have been asking this very question for a very long time. Will our dollar ever collapse? I just got done talking about the bond market. Long-term bonds are really, really struggling right now. Really, really struggling. The outflow from those long-term yield bonds, the 20, 30-year, they are looking really, really bad right now. And obviously, our government continues to print more money and continue to accrue more debt. I just saw someone comment the other day, so what, we have $33 trillion. We could just keep accruing debt until $100 trillion and $200 trillion. There is no negative to having so much debt. Well, at the very least, you got to realize that having debt means we have interest payments we need to pay, and the interest payment alone could be collapsing everything, right? We're over $1 trillion in interest payment per year now, just in interest payment on the 33 trillion worth of debt. And we keep going up by $1 trillion per month. People don't want to believe that. People are like, no, you're wrong. We're only going up by a few 10 billion or 20 billion a month. No, we're going at a rate of $1 trillion debt per month right now. We're not talking about data from a year ago or 2 years ago. Right now, we're accruing at $1 trillion per month of debt. So you can't tell me that this is healthy and this will end with no consequences, right? There will be some consequence. Eventually, maybe the dollar does collapse. But who benefits from that? Well, other countries, for one, yes, because their currency will become the new world reserve currency. But also, two, Bitcoin holders. That's who. Because more and more people are turning to Bitcoin, realizing Bitcoin is an alternative to park their money in. It's an asset that can't be artificially inflated and can't be controlled, right? There's no Powell that can come out and dictate what's going to happen with Bitcoin. Nothing like that, right? It is decentralized. There's no centralized figure or entity or country that controls it. That's why Bitcoin, a lot of goodness is happening with Bitcoin. Shrimps and crabs, basically, people that hold some Bitcoin, not the big whales. But yeah, if you look at a number of them, let me remove my camera. You look at the orange line, the purple line, this continues to go up and up and up and up. And in case you're wondering about the purple, well, that is actually the overall exchange supply. And exchange supply is going down. So it makes sense. Number of holders keeps going up. The supply keeps going down. It's really that simple. You can measure it. You can see it. So despite the fact that we are not back to 69,000, yet the fundamentals are better than ever, that should tell you how good Bitcoin is. Wait until next year, wait until 2025 when Bitcoin goes on its parabolic run with the better fundamentals, with FOMO, with institutions coming in. It's going to be unlike anything that we have ever seen. That's why we have 94.8% of Bitcoin. Okay, let's just round up. 95% of Bitcoin, of the overall supply, 95% have not moved in the last month. And this is an all-time high, a new record, going all the way back to the very beginning, all the peak cycle times, the parabolic tops, right? We have never, ever, ever had 94.8% of Bitcoin not move within a single month. Okay, again, another measurement of how strong the holders are right now. There's no one selling Bitcoin. And if you happen to be selling Bitcoin, then you're within that, 5%, right? Because 95% of people holding Bitcoin right now are not trading it. Just take a second and think about that. Is there any other asset out there that you can say 95% of it has not been sold within a month? Can we say that about oil? Can we say that about gold? Can we say that about any kind of equities or bonds or anything? No. See, stuff like this gets me excited. This is real. This is real talk here. A lot of people like to, talk about theoreticals and speculate, and I do too. It's not like I don't, but this is hard evidence of how strong Bitcoin is and Bitcoiners. You can't dispute this. You really can't. It's evidence. It's facts. All right. So we also got other exciting things, obviously. Ultimate deadlines for spot Bitcoin ETFs, including one this Friday. Grayscale, their application, right, to convert their trust into a ETF, that deadline is this Friday. So the SEC, theirs is different than all the other applicants because they're trying to convert. And Grayscale already won, meaning they sued SEC. They won. Now, the SEC does not automatically have to just convert, but the SEC has to give some pretty damning reasons why they don't want to convert. And if they can't come up with those reasons, then they have to allow it, right? So actually, there may be a good chance that on the 13th, we may get our very first spot Bitcoin ETF, if you think about it. So I was reading this article. If they somehow don't approve it, then the SEC has 45 days to come up with reasons why they didn't. And if they can't come up with good reasons, they can't give generic reasons like they have done so before, like, oh, it's, prone to manipulation, right? They can't say that anymore because they already lost against Grayscale. The courts already ruled you can't give generic excuses. You actually have to state specifically, very detailed reasons why you don't want to convert. And if they can't, again, we're going to get our very first spot Bitcoin ETF this Friday, which would be amazing. We will see Bitcoin pump up way above 30,000, maybe head to 35, 40,000 within a week or two. I think it's going to happen. Now, in case that doesn't happen, right, and somehow they give some legitimate reasons to delay this and delay this and delay this, well, we don't have much further to wait. January 10th is when the ARK ETF's final deadline is. Let's say they even deny that, which isn't an end because ARK could refile, right? But the final deadline will be March 15th. That's when BlackRock and everyone else, there's 8 applicants. That's their final deadline. So a lot of people think it's somewhere between January and March. But who knows? We may get one this Friday. I'm thinking it's going to be March. I think they're going to push into March. Gary's going to relent and allow it, and then get a cushy job in BlackRock. I think that's what's happening. We'll see. But it's going to happen. It's going to happen, and we have never, ever, ever, ever had spot Bitcoin ETFs in the U.S., and Wall Street will love it. We're going to see hundreds of billions flow in because of it, and with the next 2 years, with the environment getting better, the financial environment I'm meaning, we could see trillions flow into the market. In fact, I'm almost certain we will see trillions flow into the market. All right, so as for where we are now, like I said, this is not the time to be fearful about Bitcoin. This is the time to be bullish on Bitcoin, right? And, of course, a lot of people are looking at patterns like what happened in 2019 versus what's happening right now. It looks very similar. Very, very similar. And this one holds more weight. You know why? Because 2019 was the year before the last halving event. 2020 was when we had the last one. And you could see what happens right after that COVID retest. That was right around the halving event. And guess what happened? We started going upwards, right? So we're not quite there yet, but we are getting closer and closer and closer to the halving event, which is less than 6 months away, right? So why would you be fearful right now? Doesn't make sense. Here's another one looking at the 2-year MA multiplier. You have a couple ribbons, the top ribbon and the bottom ribbon, right? And we're kind of still below that bottom ribbon, which shows you this is still a great time to be accumulating and buying. Because once we break up and we head into the upper range, right, to the top ribbon, that's when we're overbought. Right now, we're still considered very, very, very oversold. Still a great opportunity to be picking up as many Bitcoins as you can while Bitcoin is still cheap. Yes. And here's an interesting chart. or graphics. Bitcoin's outlook by country. You have optimistic, neither, skeptical, right? If you look at the US right in the middle, we have 29% of the population that's optimistic, 35% doesn't have opinion, 35% skeptical. Interesting. See, again, you don't want to be part of that 36%. Because I argue that 36% will always be 36% because they are just closed-minded. They refuse to believe in anything else other than their own perception of the world, right? And they will not attain financial freedom through Bitcoin or crypto. Okay, as sad as that may seem, as hard as I try and all the other people in this space try, unfortunately, there are people that you just cannot convince and open their mind. And that's okay. That's better for everyone else because Bitcoin does have a set supply. You can't get everyone on it. If you do, well, Bitcoin will be over $1 million already, right? So think about that. Don't be part of the 36%. You want to be part of that 29% or at least the 35%. The neither, right? Neither. But if you look at all these other countries on the left side, Nigeria, India, Vietnam, Argentina, South Africa, right? They're a lot more pro-Bitcoin, pro-crypto because they suffer from hyperinflation way worse than we do. So where are they going to park their money? They're going to park it in something better, like Bitcoin, right? So that's interesting. What else is there? Lightning Network had a big spike up in capacity, jumps by 17% in a single week. That's fantastic. Not sure why it did jump up 17% though, but it is very good. Also, Bitcoin is coming to some of your favorite L1s, L2s, and L0s like Cosmos. Bitcoin is coming with the new Nomic Bridge, which enables the issuance of Bitcoin-based tokens within the Cosmos ecosystem. So Bitcoin is coming everywhere. We see USDT, USDC, the stable coins being bridged or natively coming to a lot of coins, right? A lot of chains. But now you're starting to see Bitcoin because there is a BRC standard too. And there are tokens within Bitcoin now too, right? But yeah, speaking of Cosmos, basically, they're doing okay. They're doing okay. A lot of transfers, a lot of volume, right? More and more is coming to Cosmos. I like Cosmos quite a lot. And also you have wrapped Ethereum from Lido that is also coming to Cosmos. So yeah, there's a lot of things being bridged. A lot of things being bridged to Cosmos. So good for them. Now, lastly, this is out of left field, but I always thought this would happen ever since the beginning. But Trader Joe's, which is a grocery store in the U.S., is suing the major DEX on Avalanche, also called Trader Joe's. I don't know why they decided to call it Trader Joe's, but it's the same exact name. And people probably get confused sometimes when searching for the DEX because it shows a grocery store. And they are getting sued. So this is not a surprise. I guess the founders thought that, hey, we're never going to get big enough where Trader Joe's actually cares about us and sues us. Well, I guess that's not the case. All right. That's a wrap, I guess. Market is doing okay today. Crypto market a little bit weaker than yesterday. Slight red, but overall holding pretty strong. All things considering that, we just had a new war breakout and inflation might go up because oil prices might go up, all that. Despite all that, Bitcoin is holding pretty well. All right, let's do some Q&A. All right. Let's see. Let's see what I missed. Scrolling the chat here. Paul looks like the guy from the movie Up. The old man. Kind of. Dan Schaefer says, let's just print more to pay interest. Well, that's exactly what's going to happen. Our budget, the U.S. budget every year has to go up because of the higher interest that we need to pay on the deficit that we have, right? On how much we borrowed. How do we borrow money, in case you're wondering, right? Who lends us money? Well, the people do in other countries because we borrow money by issuing bonds. That's why short-term yield bonds or short-term bonds, the yields are so high right now because we keep issuing them and we want people to buy them, right? Long-term bonds, no one wants right now. Everyone's dumping, but we keep pushing the yields up too. So right now that's how things are sustained. And if we can't sell enough bonds, guess what? We print more money. It's an unsustainable system. Do I believe in perpetual energy? Leroy, I'm not smart enough to comment on that, but it doesn't seem like perpetual energy exists unless we can create a device that pulls energy from another dimension or realm or some kind of weird thing that can give us infinite energy for nothing. I don't know. We could pull it from the sun, with solar, but solar doesn't seem like it's enough. Do you still trust in Flux? You asked that as if something's changed. Nothing has changed. Not that I know of. Flux is still a very exciting play. Especially because they're entering the AI space. And AI, we know, is very hot and it just started, right? So they're getting into that space. So that's good. Very good. Jacob, who does the U.S. owe interest to if they just create the money? Other countries that hold the bonds and people that hold bonds. There are some people that hold bonds. They get paid for holding those bonds, basically essentially lending the government money. Ed asks, to take profits, what is the VI stablecoin to do? I mean, I still trust USDC more than I trust USDT. USDT has a very shady history. I don't care how much they have improved by over the years, but you look at how iFinix, how they created it, why they created it, it's such a bad history. It's shocking that it's still around, honestly. But it is the biggest stablecoin that we have. Kelly. Yeah, his new house, his new permanent residence in the future, it's not going to be that comfortable for sure. I'm my hero. I liked the video on CRU last night, but he may not want to start his first video calling viewers idiots. Yeah, that's blockchain boy. He doesn't hold back. I had some hesitations about that, but a lot of people like him for who he is. So I'm not going to try to force him to change. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But people enjoyed his first video. Is BTC worthless without the network? Yes. BTC is worth something because of the network. Okay, I think that's what people don't understand. The network is of infinite value because you can't replicate it. You really can't, and no one can shut it down. So, Bitcoin is just a currency that's given out to miners that are powering the network. So really, it's all dependent on the network. Do you see us moving away from central banking? Yeah, but not within our lifetimes. It's going to take a long time before we ever get down to that. I mean, the dollar would have to collapse. The U.S. economy will have to collapse. The U.S. as a nation will probably have to collapse before we think about getting rid of the Fed and starting on a new path. So that's going to take a while. Hopefully it takes a while. Hopefully it's not within our lifetime. Otherwise, yeah, it's going to get really bad for us. I heard something the other day that kind of like opened my mind up in I don't know. I don't know if it's in a good way or not. But basically, to paraphrase, if you think about it, right? We all have a limited amount of time on this planet. If you think about it, in like 100 years, is anyone going to remember who you are, right? Because you, your loved ones, all of your friends, your parents, your grandparents, certainly, everyone that you know will be dead. Your kids possibly may be dead already, maybe not, and they're very old, but most likely even your kids will be dead. So who will actually remember you? Maybe your grandkids. Maybe they have a portrait picture of you on the mantle. Maybe they have some digital photos of you in their phone. But will they think about you? No. Do you think about your grandparents? Probably not, right? So if you think about that, it's kind of a sad reality, but it puts things in perspective that we all have very limited time, right, in our life. And we got to maximize that time. Otherwise, you're wasting it and you'll never get it again. And no one will remember you anyways. So what's the conclusion to that? Do what you love. Do what you love and spend that time wisely, right? If you think about it. I guess that's it. That's it. That's what I take from it, right? You gotta treasure your time, right? Getting financial freedom or attaining financial freedom or getting wealthy from crypto, right? I think helps with that because now you get rid of your 9 to 5, you get rid of your chains, you get rid of the financial chains, and then now you could go out and live and do what you want. I don't believe you guys think about your grandparents every day. I don't believe that. You're lying to yourself, or you're lying to me right now. Doesn't mean that I don't love my grandparents, but like I lost my grandfather a long time ago. He died from cancer, so that was like 20 years ago. Do I ever think about my grandfather? No. My grandmother's still around, right? I still see her all the time. She's still very healthy in her 90s, right? But quite frankly, do I think about her all the time? No. It's going to be the same thing with your grandkids. And every generation, I feel like, gets more, what do you call it? Less family oriented or less compassionate. I feel like that's how it is. I don't know. Everyone's, yeah, I'm just rambling into other territories right now. All right, let's get back to crypto. Is ApeCoin worthless now? No, it's not. It's not worthless. They're still working. They just hired some development firm to work on a new metaverse, right? So, yeah, they're not worthless. It's just that it's the down market right now. 100 years, Earth will be gone. No, I don't think the Earth will be gone. Humans may be gone in 100 years if we have World War III, but not the Earth. I Carrie, hi from Wisconsin. Hello. I opened a can of worms. I probably did. I probably did. The U.S. is more mixed, so lost the old world family values like Italians in New York. Yeah. Asians are usually very family oriented too, but the new generation Asians are not. Right? Again, I don't know. Something about the U.S. Everyone's just so busy, too busy working, and you know, I think that plays into it. Can you lighten up, please, Utero? Sorry, I placed that thought on you guys, but you know, I heard it. I'm like, it's true though. It's, you know, it's very true. Our existence is so short if you think about it, right? Once someone's gone, does anyone ever really think about them? You know, with time, everyone forgets about everyone. Maybe people will remember me a little bit longer because my videos will stay up on YouTube for a long time. But who knows? If YouTube goes down, gets replaced by something else, you know, all videos of me goes away too. Yeah. I wonder if YouTube is going to be around in 100 years. It's only been around for like 20-something years. Will it be around in 100 years? I don't know. Over or under 35K by the end of the year? I'm thinking it's going to be over. I think it's going to be between 35 and 40K. I think that's what's going to happen. A lot of you guys are sad by my comments, but it is the truth, right? It is the truth. But you know, knowing that, what are you gonna do about it, right? That's the thing in life. We all face hardships. We all face difficulties. But what are you gonna do about it, right? What are you gonna do with that knowledge or information or event? If you got knocked down, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna stay down or are you gonna get up and do something about it, right? So knowing what I just said, what are you gonna do about it with your life? You go ignore it and just continue wasting it, or you go do something about it. Alan says, the older you get, the more you realize this. Definitely spend more time with loved ones while everyone is still healthy and able. Yeah, that's true. That's 100% true. AI will keep you alive. It's funny because Crypto Crow has created this AI avatar. I don't know if he created it, but he's part of some AI avatar project. I think it's called Eternal AI or something. And he wants to create AI version of me. So I'm like, okay, I'll let you do it. So maybe that'll live on after I go. I don't know. The event I heard about research shows 2030s, 2040s for the pole flip. Yeah, the pole flips, you know, the earth will get destroyed or people will get destroyed. I don't think that's going to be the case, but we'll see. You know, GT, that's why, right? Like, because I realize as humans, we already get limited time, but imagine dogs, right? Most dogs only live, you know, like 10, 15 years, 18 years max, right? So they get one tenth, anywhere from 1/5 to 1/10 of our time, right? So I always think about this. If we waste a day sitting in our house, it's a day. But a dog wasting a day in the house is wasting 1 week of their time, if you think about it, right? I always think about that. So when my dogs beg me to go out because they're bored, they want to go for a walk, I try to walk them as much as I can because I keep thinking to myself, if I don't, I just help them waste a week of their time within a single day, right? And if you think about that, that way, you're really cruel for not taking them out, right? So that's why, like, I go for a lot of walks with my dogs now, because I you know, it makes me feel so guilty that they're losing like a week of their life just by staying indoors for a day. You know, that's horrible if you think about it, right? Utero, hopefully I'm not getting you too depressed. I do think about my dogs more than my grandparents. I hate to say it, but they're with me all the time, so I think about them a lot. All right. Anyways, off topic. So to conclude, Bitcoin is doing things it's never done before. Okay, 95% have not moved within a single month. There's no other asset that you could say this about, and Bitcoin keeps on getting stronger. Stronger and stronger and stronger. So, do not give up. Stay strong, stay focused, and tune in tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right? Have a good one, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.